going on, you guys? It's your boy Alex West Collects here, bringing you another figure review. And today we're taking at WWE Mattel Basic Series 141. First time in the line, LA Knight, but lots of changes coming to Mattel. You know, we have a new style for the Elite packages next year, but also for 2024, we have the new articulation added on the basics, which does start with this line. And how fitting is it? We got one of the most popular WWE superstars right now in LA Knight. If you are interested in grabbing this figure, it is now available and shipping from ringsidecollectibles.com. When you guys shop, to use promo code FORLIFE, it will save you 10% off your order at checkout. So you can see new packaging and again, new articulation with this figure. There's a lot more features. I really am excited to take a deep dive into this figure and see, you know, what these basics are all about, because for the most part, let's be honest, basic figures have not been fun. I purchased a lot initially when they first came out, when the Mattel line started. And there were some guys I would buy just because it's maybe their only figure at the time, like a Kurt Hawkins or someone who just wasn't that popular. We had that one Tommy Dreamer basic. So it kind of made sense. Okay, I'm going to grab him just to have that guy represented in my collection. And then over time, they took away articulation due to cost cutting, right? We got them, they were less articulated. Also, a big selling point at one point was a lot of part swaps. I'd buy a lot of basics for maybe arms or heads to swap on my elites. And, you know, after a while, once the articulation went away, it was really just purchasing a $10 or $12 figure at that point because they had gone up in price for a head swap. And, you know, it seemed a little pricey. So I kind of steered away from basics. And I feel like a lot of us did. The articulation just was not, they weren't fun. You know, they were really stiff. And, you know, a lot of these, like, smaller 3 3/4 inch figures, like, you know, a Batman or from, like, Spin Masters, those figures have quite a bit of articulation for such a small size. So I think that's kind of where these are a little modeled after. If those smaller figures can have all that added articulation, why can't we have that on a Mattel Basic? From what I understand, from what Mattel is telling us, they added the extra articulation, but the price point for basics is supposed to stay the same. They're not going to jump up to $15 because now we have more leg articulation. From my understanding, this is what they had said as of this recording. This may change in the future. Obviously, inflation is a thing. They're still staying at the $11.99 price point at retail. Again, that is up to the retailer to eventually change that price if needed. But we do have LA Knight, very excited. His first figure, and it does look great. There is a Chase variant, which I actually do have an order. Did not receive it yet. I was debating whether to do this video till I had that figure in hand. But I said, screw it. I'm really excited to see this basic in hand. And again, I'm sure you guys are too, to see that articulation and see if it really is an upgrade, because I feel like it's going to be. But you do get the image of LA Knight first time in the line. Obviously, the nice window box for the figure. You can see the whole figure, unlike the new packaging for the Elites. But does look kind of crisp and clean. On the back, you will see the little read-up they got. First time in the line, signature move, BFT. You have Brock Lesnar, The Rock, Seth freaking Rollins, and Bianca Belair, the other figures on the set. You get the image of LA Knight, as well as 2024 new articulation logo for the basics. Let's crack LA Knight out of the box and see if this is superior to the prior basics. Here we go. We are taking a look at the first time in the line, LA Knight. Yeah. Obviously a huge megastar right now. I feel like LA Knight's rise has been something unprecedented. I didn't even know this was the same guy. If you guys watched the reality show with The Rock years ago, The Hero, he was that guy who was the wrestler on the show. I remember watching him like, this guy's a dick. I mean, I don't like him. I think he was with TNA Wrestling at the time. I didn't even know this was the same guy when he came back. I know he was in NXT as LA Knight. I actually went to I believe it was the first SmackDown where it was actually, I think it was a dark match. It wasn't even an actual taping. I don't know, one or the other. But they debuted him, or re-debuted him as Max Dupree, kind of the leader of the male models. Like, wasn't this guy in NXT? Let me be honest with you guys, I don't watch a ton of NXT between AEW and WWE. There's just so much wrestling you can watch in a day. So don't watch too much of it. But, you know, when they brought him up, he was working with Bray Wyatt as a heel. You know, he really resonated with me. Obviously, his cadence and the way he talks, but he has such a good look. He was great on the mic. He was very, like, in shape, just like what you would expect for your typical wrestler. And his cadence, obviously, let's talk to it. He does have that little bit of a Stone Cold swag to him, mixed with a Rock. And generally, when wrestling fans see someone copying from a guy in the past, it kind of turns them off. And they go, I'm not going to get behind it. But he's really resonated with all the fans, and I kind of jumped on the bandwagon at the time and saw something in him, and he's just continued to rise. And we're getting his first figure here. Obviously, he just went up against Roman Reigns in the most recent episode of SmackDown. So what a great time to have his first figure starting to hit, well, not retail, but coming out to the Mattel line. Look at that head scan. Let's start with the actual deco hits on this figure before we get to the articulation, because we're going to talk a lot about that. But you will see this head scan looks spot on to LA Knight. Look at that side smirk. Get the awesome kind of beard. Has a nice coloring or lighter coloring versus the hair. Love the hair sculpt. And this is just a basic. This looks so good. We can move on to his trunks. You see he does have the logo design on here with the red. There is a chase version of him in the yellow. Again, I did purchase that. I guess I will do a quick video review, but we're going to go in depth with all the articulation stuff now, and then we can kind of compare once I actually have that figure in hand. Unfortunately, did not have it in time for this video, but I could not wait. You can see going down, he does have the black knee pads. He also does come with a black elbow pad. Look at these short boots. You can see Knight around the top. He does have LA on the corners. Great attention to detail. If you guys can see, it is on both boots. He does have the red soles as well. I'm really digging that. And let's get to the main selling point here. So I know a lot of us kind of stopped purchasing basics, right? Like, it's just the articulation wasn't what it was. They were very stiff. And if you guys didn't purchase basics, I do have one of the older ones here. You can see how stiff they were, right? The legs really just go up and down. The knees really do not bend at all. Let's see how the articulation is on the new 2024 basics coming out in full force, starting with Basic Series 141. So we'll start with the head. Fully rotates just like it would. The good thing about basics now, the head is interchangeable. You can pop it off. So if you guys want to do a custom Elite until the official Elite LA Knight comes out, you can pop the head off. The hands also are interchangeable. You can pop them off. I know if you're a collector a long time like me, you have a ton of interchangeable hands. So if you want to get a finger pointing hand on your LA Knight to do some more gesturing poses for your fake photography or on your shelf, you can do that. That is pretty damn awesome. Let's port his hands back together. But these are great little features to really make these, more, accessible, not accessible, but more interesting for fans to purchase and get them really excited for the basic line. I mean, there's definitely 3 3/4 inch figures that my son has from superhero figures where there's a lot more articulation. And why not have it with this basic figure? It's a long time coming. So at one point we did have the bicep cut that did go away due to budget cuts. But you can see this figure does not have it. So the arms are still the same, right, as the prior basics. You get the single joint elbow. There is rotation. You can spin it fully around. The hands, obviously the wrist does rotate, does hinge. You get your waist articulation. And the arms fully rotate as well, all the way around on both sides. But the major selling point was the legs. So again, this is what you got with the older one. With these now, you can do a good amount of the splits, almost full range of motion there. You can kick up all the way like this. There is a single joint at the knee. There is a boot cut where you can swivel it. The foot does go up and down. There is no ankle rotation. The leg doesn't go that much far back. But remember how hard these basics were. Look, I can't even bend the knee. Look how much pressure I'm putting. The boot's about to pop off. Look how much easier that is now. And there was no side to side with these. They just kind of went up and down. I mean, if you guys want them doing the can, let's see how much higher these kick. I feel like it's significantly more. I mean, maybe not a ton more, but enough where it's posable, where you can get them in different displays. The leg also does hinge or kind of swivel. You can see that. You can kind of swivel it, so there is no thigh cut like an Elite, but you can turn them in and out to get some different articulation, some more posability. I'm absolutely loving this. I feel like this is giving new life to basic figures. I mean, to see where we were coming from with a figure like this, and I love this figure. It's very nice for what it was, but add the added articulation, I feel like it just takes these figures to another level. And just a quick kind of evolution of the articulation of basics. So we did already see this Cody. We do have a basic AJ Styles. You can see at one point they were just like Elites. He did have the little arm cut here at the bicep. That is no longer the case. But unfortunately, or fortunately, now you get a little more range of motion. This leg actually did move a lot easier than these. So, I mean, they're obviously pinless now. But look how much more articulation you should get with the knee joints. That is not even existent. So AJ being obviously an older basic with the older style, you can see it's just more fun, more posable with this new LA Knight versus kind of the prior basics from the mid to later run of WWE Mattel. And a few more comparisons. So we have the brand new Basic LA Knight with an Ultimate Edition Roman Reigns here on the left. And on the right, we have a Top Picks John Cena. We had to do it. We have the brand new Basic LA Knight next to the Ultimate Edition Rock here on the left. And we have the Ultimate Edition Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah. So let me talk to you. Do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of this figure. What kind of videos you guys want to see more of from me. Don't forget to turn on those notification bells to stay tuned to the newest action figure reviews here on my channel. This LA Knight figure is phenomenal. It's a basic, I get it. And in no ways am I saying these are going to replace Elites or Ultimates. Absolutely not. But how many times have we seen an attire in basic form? Like, I don't know. Some of these Cody Rhodes figures have been coming out with the gray pants. Some of the older Seth Rollins, we had that Thanos Seth Rollins that came out not too long ago. They're redoing as a new updated articulation basic. I feel like you can't get every gear in an Ultimate or in an Elite, right? So when they throw it in a basic, it would always be like, oh man, what a wasted spot. Why couldn't that be, you know, something more? Now there's a chance for it to come as a basic, right? And you can get a little more fun with it. It feels like a real figure. It doesn't feel like a piece of plastic that you can't do it like just paperweight, right? This figure has such great articulation, and it's just enough what you need. Like, I don't know about you guys. I don't do a ton of figure photography anymore. I used to do a lot of that back in the day. But on the Elites, I don't really use that ab crunch for my display. It's not like I have someone crouching over doing something. It's cool to get a shot with, like, say, a Cody Rhodes figure with his arms out, lean back, right? But with your basic figures, if they're going to go on your shelf, I feel like you can get away with it. And honestly, for figure photography, there's tons you can do. Look, you have the interchangeable hands. I did swap out one of the Hulk Hogan pointing finger hands to it. You can throw different accessories on there. They're just more fun, right? So it's definitely going to pique my interest and get me to buy more. Is it going to, you know, make me be a basic only collector? Probably not, right? But now these kids who are getting these figures can actually play with them. They can move their legs. They can bash them together. It's just more fun. And it opens up the avenue for collectors, for kids, for casual fans, and they're at a lower price point. So, you know, with the way the economy is now, you are spending $12 on a figure that you're not embarrassed to have. It's fun. You can do stuff with it, and it looks great on display. Look how great LA Knight looks. Absolutely love this figure. Cannot recommend it enough. Again, this is available at ringsidecollectibles.com. When you guys shop, use promo code 4LIFE. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at AlexWestCollects. I hope you guys have enjoyed this in-depth video review of a basic figure, right? Basics are back without a doubt. I'll catch you all on the next video review.